chapter from this novel I wrote about a girl who has two separated and dreadful parents, and both of their best friends have been shot dead. That's the basic thing, and then they run away, leaving her to deal with the shit. That's what it is. So mostly it's narrated by her, but it's also narrated by various people who come to care for her, including two policewomen. Last time I read Laura, who was a detective inspector whose life had been smashed apart by having to deal with cases involving murder and so on of young women, and that was the last time. And she rarely felt she just wasted her life on this, and but some people she seemed to succeed with, including Laurie, and this is Laurie, who is now a police constable. Laura's investigating the girl's mother's friend's death, and Laurie's investigating the girl's father's friend's death. And they all start with something nasty said by the girl, and then, but this is the rest is Laurie. In which we see the essential duality of the universe as it demands yet again that two murders mean two whining policewomen. She's hiding something, stupid girl. I hope she gets a bit more from her mother than she seems to get to this pathetic excuse of her father. I don't know how bad he is, but he's clearly run away from her and left her in the lurch. Even then she is defending him. I never did that. Mine was definitely undefensible. Maybe I'm being unfair and painting all fathers to be like mine. What if she was just hiding from him though? I hid all the time when I was her age. It was the only way I could survive. My father never liked me from the moment I was born. Never liked having a daughter. There is a kind of abusive father everybody's heard about, and which I've come across a few times in my investigations, ones who treat their little girl like a sex doll. At least I didn't have to put up with that. What I did have to put up with was being sent to bed because he couldn't bear to see me, or being beaten for God knows what. A violent man, an angry man. He was never able to recover from the family background, father and uncles working in a brutal steelworks, fighting all the time. He had to be able to fight to survive. He never stopped until I stopped him. He beat my mum and my two brothers as well, but I got the worst of it. It was odd, but I think he saw his father in him. I think it was my eyes which looked a bit like my granddad's and made me look a bit fierce. He thought I was angry with him, that I was being rude or abusive to him, that I hated him, which of course I did in the end. And I was the one who stood up to him at first when I was about 8, just wriggling out of his grasp, yelling something rude to him and running away. I would go and lock myself in our cupboard, which had a thick oak door and didn't move an inch when he pounded on it and he tried to kick it down. I would lie there and fall asleep until it was morning and he was gone. I stayed out of his way as much as I could, sometimes skipping meals, lying upstairs, gently reading, making no sound, so he didn't even know I was in. I couldn't even do my homework when he was in, for fear I would make the least noise moving about. If he did hear me, he was likely to come in shouting at me, calling me loathsome things. It horrified me into standing up to him and looking contemptuous at him, which only made him worse. My mother arranged sleepovers for me, but whenever she could. And it was good that my friends' families would have me, knowing that there was no way I could reciprocate. Everyone knew what he was like, and several people helped me hide from him. That there was goodness in my community helped me grow up without being completely bitter. The end came when I was 14. This poor girl seems to be about that. My mum had got him out of the house and had even managed a court order, so he was not allowed to be anywhere near the house or me as much as possible. He wasn't usually a danger to the boy. They were allowed to visit and go on outings with him. But this one day, as he had been behaving himself a bit better, and it was what my elder brother William wanted for his birthday. Mum decided we should all go on a family outing to the fair, and she wanted to include me. I accepted this because I loved William and wanted him to have a nice time, even if it was bound to end, even if it was based on the illness of the illusion of a happy family. I kept out of his way as much as I could, but I felt a bit safe as he was in a great mood, showing off his various kinds of shooting gallery skills, winning prizes, and as the ones in which you show your strength. Manliness was his preoccupation, and the boys lapped it up, and I think my mother did as well. As long as he was successful, he was fine company. But then we came to the stall where you had to knock down tin cans with a beanbag. This came immediately after he had successfully swung the hammer to ring a bell, and I later figured out that this left his muscles extended, so his accuracy with the beanbags would be much harder. So the first one was a little to the left, the second to the right. He did knock over a couple of cans with the last one, but several were still standing while he lost. This would have been bad enough, but William would have a go, and he knocked the cans down in one shot. Dad was silent for a bit, but then started shouting at William that he had shown him up, that he was a terrible son. We were all making his life terrible. Then he made to hit him, but William ducked and ran, and Dad started after him. Without thinking, at least I think it was without thinking, I stuck my foot out, tripped him, and he went flying and hit his head on the stanchion and of the stall, lay still, then jerked, then died. I was in shock. I stood there totally still and dumb. Mum screamed, "You killed him!" And I had. I didn't know what to think or do. I wasn't pleased or happy or sad or anything, just numbed. And I thought, I'll go to jail for this. I'm a murderer. The police came and took statements. That's a memory that haunts me every time I have to take statements. When asked, I said, I tripped him. No hiding there then. He was going to hurt William, really hammer him. He was very strong and might easily have killed him before he knew what he was doing. I knew what it was like to be beaten with him. I was off school for 2 days after the first time, and now he was absolutely out of control. He'd gone through the stillness which comes with his greatest rage. I didn't mean to kill him, just slow him down. Then he would turn his violence onto me, and I was used to that. I assumed I would get hit sometime today as soon as the family outing was decided, and I thought I could just deal with it. But I couldn't deal with seeing one of my brothers taking the same beating. We were taken to the police station. An aunt of ours was called, and after they told the police their stories, the boys went off with her. Mum stayed with me. I was questioned by a young policewoman about the same age as I am now. She said her name was Laura, and she was very kind to me, particularly when she heard that I had been beaten so much. She said she had a little girl, and if her husband had hit her, not that he ever did or would do, he would be gone, never being allowed near her again. My mother cried and just said, she couldn't stop it. I'm too weak. He's always too strong. Laura looked at her with contempt. I repeated that I just had to stop him. I didn't know that he would fall like that. I didn't know he would be killed. Now I fell apart and cried for a long time. Now I think I was crying for all the beatings and the hidings. Right now I felt I didn't need to hide anymore. Not that Mum could see me anyway. She was in the corner with her head down, shaking and rocking. Laura could though. She took my hand, stroked it to calm me down, and when that didn't work, she cuddled me. I knew then and there that I wanted to join the police, wanted to be strong like her, kind like Laura, and help people who needed help. I often wonder what happened to Laura. A couple of months later, I went back to the police station and found she had transferred out of London. I got the sense that she wasn't popular, wasn't one of the boys. I know how that feels now. The outcome was that the death was ruled accidental, but I was referred to counselling. It's hard to tell if counselling helped me. It was nice to be heard, and I got a lot of anger out at my dad and of course my mum, not doing too little to protect me, and sometimes my brothers. Why didn't they get it when I did? And I grew up having been mostly responsible for myself already. This wasn't too hard. I was able to concentrate on my schoolwork more, be relaxed around friends, even had sleepovers at home now. Now I've got this mixed up girl to deal with. Could I be kind to her like Laura was for me? Would she let me in? I had worked out that I didn't need to hide anymore. I doubted she had done anything with such a dreadful effect as I had, but she was obviously not in control of herself, however she might appear on the surface. She was just as needy as I'd been. What could I do, and how was I limited by my professional role? A strange thought. We may have to hide together.